in
5D.
Oh.
You can't do an also. There's
Yeah.
a pause. There's no room for also. You've clearly forgotten how to do all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like suddenly we're back because he's fucking here.
Yeah, really.
Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years.
Yeah, we've been sitting here waiting for you this whole time, this whole week. Like we didn't leave
The
at
last couple
all.
episodes are silence as we were waiting for you to chime in.
Yeah.
I was alone. I was all by myself.
How was that? Right. Feels like I was back at home.
Wow.
I don't know.
It's not accurate.
Somewhere in South America.
He watched. It was actually just shit. That's all there is to do there. It was just yeah. Island shit.
Hello.
No.
Hello.
No. Again, I love how he's like wistful at the experience coming back, and you and I are like, no, it's just Monday again. We've
Well, that's
been
okay.
here.
It's still
Yeah, me and Klops had plenty of banter. We don't need your ass for banter.
No, it does count because we still had banter, but we agreed a lot more and didn't argue as much. But I get what you're saying, Eduardo. I don't think it's weird. Why is it weird?
Some of us are just more wonderful than others.
Yeah, some of us are just understanding. Yeah.
That's happened like one or two times, but I was never gonna let it go.
Yeah.
That's forever.
Because I didn't actually care. It was just all a big prank, bro, on you. Yeah, I know. That's why we need a Patreon with behind the scenes of what happens before the podcast, so everybody else that's part of the Patreon knows how I rally you up.
That's going to be such a ripoff for the Patreon people because you act like I'm going to remember to cut out the whole first chunk.
This is a podcast that's like 2 hours long. Oh, our podcast time went up. Fuck it.
Wait, we're Critical Role all of a sudden? Sorry, we're still an hour shy of a Critical Role episode? Oh, yeah, easily. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah!
That's awesome.
Yay!
As long as it picks up on the main recording, I don't give a fuck.
Yay! Welcome to the podcast where Eduardo has more problems on stream.
No, I figured it out. Yeah. So apparently the microphone I thought was the microphone wasn't the microphone. It's a whole thing. It was trying to use the Stargazer microphone.
I remember my first computer.
Yeah. How many live streams did you guys do when I wasn't here?
Oh, none. We
Yeah.
didn't even bother. The difference is
Suck
we
a
didn't
D.
even try.
Suck a D. Hey. All right. Anyways, you bought some shit during Black Friday. Tell us about it.
I bought all. So I got to share this one just because it's like this is a childhood dream come true. I got a robot vacuum, bro.
Oh,
nice. Are you gonna put googly eyes on it?
No, it
You
actually
should put
still
a shark fin on it.
so far it is a Shark brand. And it's kind of dope. It can like empty its own tray. So basically the vacuum has a vacuum. But I will say
What?
the thing has not successfully run the whole house yet.
Okay.
So
Well, you have a
How
lot
does
of
it go down the
stairs.
stairs?
it does not go down the stairs, but it hasn't even run the whole. It's supposed to do like the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, and the master bathroom. And so far, it has not.
Have you programmed the map yet? There's a map.
It's supposed to build its own map, so we think it's still trying to figure shit out. I think it doesn't know how long the house is yet. So we came home today, and it was just dead in the hallway, and I was like, little fucker tried to make it, and he couldn't. But he held in there, bro. Little homie tried to do it.
Oh,
so maybe
man,
tomorrow he'll...
What were the
he'll-
last words of the Mars row? The Mars.
Oh, it was like, it's
getting dark.
and I'm
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah,
Or
was it batteries low, getting dark? I was
That's-
like, oh,
that was my robot vacuum today. It was like, I'm so close
robot.
to home. And then it just died.
Oh man, I will say one thing. I have a RoboVac, and my favorite part is when it puts itself back on the charger. It like pulls up a little bit and then wiggles its fucking ass slowly until it hits the contacts with charging and then settles. Like it's
Mine likes to
hilarious.
sing itself a song when it docks in, like, I did it! And it's like, yeah, great. That's your
No.
job. You pass butter, bitch.
All of the new all of the new appliances are fucking singing. So when we bought the house, we didn't have a fucking washer dryer, so we bought one, and now whenever it's in, it goes do 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 do, and I was like,
Yep.
what the fuck was that noise?
My
I have a
washer
lot of
dryer-
electronics, and they've never sung to me before without me prompting them.
My washer dryer, my dishwasher, and the Instapot. And apparently, well, I don't know if it started here, but my wife had been talking about singing appliances in Korea For, like,
Jesus.
ever since she had gone there to go see her family and shit. She's like, yeah, everything there sings. Everything has a chime. Everything fucking sings. And then cut to a couple years later, and all of our appliances suddenly fucking sing.
That's hilarious. I
Yeah.
could just picture your fucking thing doing the Barney thing. Dishes done, empty me.
Yeah, the next step is clearly little animatronic robots that pop out of the top of them and dance to the jingles as they
Yeah,
sing.
Yeah.
dude, you haven't lived until you have a fucking dishwasher that can do the jig.
I just figured it would be like where the like screen is. It like turns into a face and sings. Well, does it?
Your dishes have completed.
Yeah.
And then
so-
you can play Doom on the interface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can already do that. You can do that on the fucking LED that's on there. So what I bought that people probably actually care about, I picked up a PlayStation VR. They were doing a pretty decent bundle. I had to get the little move stick separate. Not all the games require it, but some of the ones I was interested in did. So I picked those up separate, but it was the whole bundle, Black Friday price. Came with 5 games. So it came with, let's get this out of the way right now, because I know some of the others are going to be like, and then rage about it. I'm not going to play Skyrim VR. I have it. I really wanted to sell it, but unfortunately, it was one of those download codes where it was all 5 games or go fuck yourself. So I couldn't sell it off separate. I'm not going to play Skyrim. I'm not going to play Skyrim. I'm not going to play Skyrim. I'm not interested. So I have that shit. That's going to sit there. And then I also have VR Golf, which, like, I guess is cool. But no, I'm not going to play that. I had a buddy who was like, oh, I'm actually interested in that. Like, I'll buy it off you. And I was going to sell it to him. And I can't. So that's going to sit there. So that sucks. Then it came with PlayStation Worlds, which was... Apparently, I was getting PlayStation Worlds mixed with PlayStation Dreams. And the game that I'm actually interested in is PlayStation Dreams. PlayStation Worlds is just like 5 pre-packaged glorified tech demos that so far have been
Oh.
really like, they're cool.
It's like Dear
but it's nothing
Esther
that
on
I'm
the
like,
VR.
You gotta play that. Like, nobody's coming over and I'm like, this is the game you're gonna try. Like, I'm going to try them all once. Then I'm going to put that disc away, and it's going to sit there until it gets disc rot.
How much have you played?
I've played 2 of the 5.
But for how long? Like, is the motion sickness
One
thing a
chapter
problem?
on one and 2 chapters on another.
Okay, so no, the motion sickness thing isn't a problem.
I'll get to that. I'll
Okay.
get there. How many? That's what?
Excuse me.
That's 3 games. What the fuck is the 4th game I got with this?
I really like just one time where like we catch you just playing Skyrim VR. And you're like, "What are you doing? What? No, I'm not playing Skyrim VR."
It will literally never happen.
You gotta get him drunker.
Now I really just don't like the Elder Scrolls series as a whole. I'm not a fan of it. So I don't play them. I've seen Skyrim. I've had lots of friends play it in front of me. Is like, aren't you enticed now? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm still not interested in Skyrim. Okay, so I also got Resident Evil Biohazard, which is cool because you can play that in VR or just regular. Like you,
Oh, that's
you,
cool.
you get both versions of the game. Like Borderlands VR, I don't believe just comes with Borderlands. I believe it's fully separate. Maybe Skyrim you can play both. I don't know. I'm not going to play it. Rubbing it in now.
No, I think it's separate.
He's
Okay.
such a beach.
So yeah, Biohazard you can play each way, and I'm kind of glad because I'll be honest, Biohazard made me motion sick. That's the only game that's done it. It also came with just the PlayStation demo disc that has like 5 to 10 minutes of 9 different games or something like that. And I
Oh,
tried
yeah,
a bunch of those too. So far, and I played a whole game that I'm going to get into next. But so far, nothing has actually made me motion sick except for Resident Evil.
Oh, I thought you said Bioshock.
It's called Resident Evil Biohazard.
Oh, Biohazard. Okay.
That's the name. That's the full name. It's not Resident Evil 5. It's Resident Evil Biohazard. That's the only one to do it because it has this weird like, yes, you'll walk in the direction you're looking to a degree. Mostly you hit right stick and it kind of like tank jerks you around.
Oh.
And there's something about the view on it that makes me feel like I'm 10 years old. Like you're just so low to the ground. Like when you're looking down, it feels like the ground only comes up to your waist. And it's just when that's strapped to your face and the ground isn't quite where you know your feet are, it has a disorienting effect.
Yeah.
It just does. And that was the only game. The disorienting effect mixed with jerking my head around, but also letting me move my own head, it just made for this really uneven effect that I was not comfortable with. But I will also say this. When I was first playing it, I was standing and had been standing for like 6 hours while playing a different game because for whatever reason, it never occurred to me to wheel my computer chair out and just play from sitting in. Because you've both been in my living room. My couch is actually pretty far from my TV. It's great for watching TV. It's not great for playing games all the time, especially something like that. And with the VR, the camera, you're really only supposed to be about 7 feet away. And I actually sit just outside of that 7-foot range. So I had with my coffee table without like reorganizing all my fucking furniture for it. It was easier just to stand in front of the coffee table and play. But for whatever reason, I had just never been like, oh, I should just grab that chair and sit the fuck down. It just, because I was playing the game and I was like, man, I'm really uncomfortable, but this game's really fun. It never popped in my fucking head. So maybe if I hadn't been standing and like holding my body at weird angles to do stuff for like 6 hours, probably wouldn't be as motion sick, and I'll probably just for what that's worth.
At least you didn't throw out your fucking back or something.
I honestly, if I had done it the whole second day, like if it had not occurred to me to wheel this chair out there on the second day, I probably would have. But the game that I did finally sit down and play, it came very highly recommended to me by a coworker. Astrobot, dude, Astrobot is so fun. This is probably like, I don't want to go so far as say like, oh, the whole system's worth it just for Astrobot. But if you get it, you're doing yourself a disservice not to get Astrobot for it because it is hands down easily going to be one of the best games you play on PlayStation VR. And I realize that's probably like bold words coming from somebody who's only played a bunch of demos and one full game. I don't really see how many things are going to top this. So it's a pretty simple premise. There's not a whole lot of detail because it's so simple. It's a spaceship full of tiny little robots is traveling. It gets hit by something, and all the little robots traveling on it spill out over a couple of different solar systems. You play as this big collector bot and a smaller bot that's like one of the ones from the ship who are going out and rescuing all the little robots. So each level is kind of like just it's basically a platformer game. It's like Crash Bandicoot, but not side scroller. All right, like not always side scroller. You know, it flips between side and forward in every direction because it's in PlayStation. So you play as this floating entity with a controller who's controlling a little bot who's traveling around and getting into nooks and crannies and collecting things and doing stuff for you. I think what helped keep it from becoming disoriented is, to me, it didn't feel like it was trying to make me move around. I was more this floating head. Like it really felt more like I put my head in a box, and inside of that box was this small universe that I could drive with a controller. So it didn't give me that motion sick feeling because it was less me moving and more the world moving around me, if that makes any sort of sense. Mm-hmm. I just found that much easier on my eyes and on my stomach before sitting. Really, honestly, that's it. It's a very, very simple puzzle platformer. Collect there's 8 robots and a chameleon in every level. The 8 robots are like the main mission, but you don't have to get all of them. And each chameleon unlocks a special challenge level. And I'll be honest, I haven't tried those yet. I wanted to beat the main game before I started doing challenge stuff. But it looks like each level just has its own challenge version. I just don't know what the challenge is. So you're going through and you're collecting the 8 little robots. And the whole time you're just kind of piloting this little jumpy fighty robot. He's got to knock some stuff out. He's got to boost jump. That's about it. Other than that, you're kind of just interacting with the environment and finding the robots. What's kind of nice is the robots, it's 3D, and they're really making use of that VR world. Sometimes stuff is behind you, under you. There are points where you literally have to like lean your head forward and peek around a corner to see what you're doing next or where something is hidden. They help you out with the robots because you can kind of hear them calling for help as they're hanging from precarious situations or whatever. And you got to get your little guy up there and figure out how to rescue them. But just what a great tech demo for something. And not what a great full game. But what a great way to show off VR and what it's capable of. Not by being like, you're a guy with a gun, now shoot stuff. That's been my biggest problem with a lot of this stuff so far, is everything's been this, you have a gun or you're piloting a vehicle. It's really the generic, exactly what you would think it would be experience. This was so much better to kind of like RC car your head and just be like, hey man, you're going to go drive this little car around and collect stuff, but the stuff's all the fuck around you. And one of the things that, like, it just hit me so hard, it has these couple of great levels that take place inside of caves. And as I'm playing it, I truly felt like I was at a Disneyland attraction. And I can really see Disney built, like, think about like a dark ride. If you guys have been to Disneyland in the last 20, 30, 40 years, I don't know how long this version of it's been there, but the Peter Pan ride. You get in a boat and you ride over a little London city, but you know, obviously it's a model. It's just a really nice scale model of a cartoonish London city that you fly over. How cool would it be to go into a Disneyland experience? You're just going through the ride and you have goggles on, and there are walls and there are leaves, but the texture can change based on what they're pumping through onto the walls through the goggles. That's what this feels like. It feels like somebody is doing an augmented reality experience, but utilizing full virtual reality. That's the best way I can put it. And I think that's what's selling it, because, and I'm on record on this podcast saying I actually prefer augmented reality to virtual reality. But I think taking the augmented reality approach to virtual reality is such a cool thing to do. And there's actually, it's not an isolated experience. I got to play a demo for a game called Moss that I know got really, really hyped when it was coming out. It's the same kind of thing. You're looking at this world from a 3D perspective, but controlling this little mouse and getting them through puzzles and fighting enemies. But through this benevolent godlike figure status. And Moss actually takes it a step further. They actually say that you're this godlike, the big fella. You're this godlike figure who looks over the mouse. And I'm actually now seeing there's a couple games I want to try. One of them is called Tethered, and one of them I believe is called Dinosaurs and Robots. And if it's not called that, if you Google Dinosaurs and Robots PlayStation VR, it will come right up, because it's literally a god game about a cowboy world with dinosaurs. That's more what I'm getting at. They're introducing the idea of God games. You were like Black and White and stuff like
Yeah.
that. They're introducing the idea of God games in VR. That to me is a really, really cool experience. God games for me are the perfect application of virtual reality in its capacity right now. I think once you start introducing haptic gloves and things like that, simulator experiences are going to get really, really cool. And right now, I think simulator experiences are cool, but first person shooters and driving games or like space piloting tank games, it's cool once, but the marketplace does not need 60 of these games. It's too easy, and honestly it's not fun. But something, Astrobot, cannot swear by Astrobot enough. Fucking 10 smashy teeth monkeys out of 10. Loved Astrobot.
Yeah, so
Highest recommendation.
what I think is once they start getting into more the maybe not full body, but more the haptic.
I think just
Stuff?
a pair of haptic gloves is just enough to
so
start
haptic
giving
gloves
you some
and
new...
haptic headphones.
Yeah.
that
Well,
have-
right now the VR does have a pair of headphones that you plug in, and it does give you the surround sound experience to go along with it.
So these are the older Razer Krakens.
Mhm.
They've got the new ones that have the haptic audio inside of them. So what it has is that it actually has these little pads that expand and contract to do certain things. So like part of how humans also detect sound isn't just the sound, it's the vibration too, right?
Yeah,
like you feel
right.
it. So it tries to simulate like that. So add that to like a chest and some gloves, and then take on a racing or piloting game.
Oh
And-
yeah.
And at that point, that's when I think those games will really hit their strides, because if you even get something that has maybe a little tiny fan in it, and you start feeling the wind
Right.
rush or something like that, dude, that the full simulated experiences would
Right, but right
yeah.
now we're not there, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
honestly just feels like motion sickness. The game. That's all it's doing for you. And the first person shooter experience, it's just they're all the same. Sure, you have a gun and you
Yeah.
shoot at stuff, and I'm not saying they're like I'm gonna play the fuck out of Super Hot. Super Hot looks great, and I've been waiting to play Super Hot for the VR version. So
Okay.
I'm really into that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on VR shooters in general.
There was another one that
It's a
seemed
little
really interesting
oversaturated.
called I think Fire Team.
Okay, I haven't seen
And
this one.
you needed the motion controls, and you needed like this other attachment to make it a gun.
Oh, I've seen them sell the gun. Yeah.
And it looked pretty fun, and like I knew people that played it, and like they were really into it because it was like
I could see firefighting be a little bit different of a take on it to make it more interesting. Because
well, it
if
was
the-
Fire
if the
Team,
envi-
so
It
it
was
was
Fire
it was
Team.
it
It
was a
wasn't
shooter.
firefighting.
It was a military game.
Yeah. I was
But it-
really hoping this was a firefighter game because I could see that being really fun.
No. This was it's called Fire Team, and it looked pretty interesting. It's like Fire Team Bravo or something like that. It's some
Oh, okay.
generic name.
My buddy
but-
had one that he swore by that he's like, no, this is the first person shooter experience you want. So maybe I'll check
Yeah.
them both out and compare them.
Yeah, that's the one that I heard about. Like, it seemed kind of interesting and kind of fun.
Well, I had a before they did the VR thing. The first generation was like on the Wii when I played the Conduit. So I got the extra gun attachment. The one thing that always bothered me about that is that to move, you still have this
The
controller,
joystick.
the
yeah.
joystick,
Yeah.
and that was kind of obnoxious because it was on the back of the gun.
Honestly, at that point, put the fucking game on rails. Virtual cop that shit. It's fine. Rails are
funny.
fine when used right.
I think I don't remember exactly if the Conduit was on rails, but it was definitely not an open world. It was more like
Rails are fine.
there's certain paths, but yeah. So it,
Uh,
I want to try VR. I just there's not enough pulling me in just yet.
Yeah, that's kind of been my thing. So I've also watched some things about VR, especially because our Bonsai here was going to give VR, and we talked about one of the games called Accounting Plus. I'm sure he'll talk about it in a minute.
I haven't played it yet. No, I got it. I'm going to play it. It was on sale, but I just got the Move controllers in today, so I haven't played it.
Right. So I watched all of that because I was like, maybe I'll watch all of this because I don't know whenever I'll get a PlayStation VR. And the problem that I'm having with most VR games that I'm seeing is that they are kind of like tech demos, and like they're only like maybe a couple hours tops, which I'm not saying that it's a debate like how long the game should be or anything for things. But if I'm trying to drop money on a VR machine, I'd want something with like a high rate of like replay value and everything. And so far from what I've seen, there's not much of that in it. I think it's an interesting concept. I think I like VR a little bit better than AR. But then again, I don't have much experience with AR. I'm just not sure if it's worth the price tag for me to spend 250, 300 for a kind of gimmick.
I will say I got it for under 250, which is with the 5 games, though I was expecting to be able to sell some of them back and make some of it back, which is that's a lot of the reason I got it. I was expecting to get 50 more back because Skyrim VR is $60. I was expecting to get 40 or 50 back and have it be like a real bargain. I'll say at 200, Astrobot made it partially worth it. I think Moss will increase that. And you already know I'm just a sucker for these writers, and I love this kind of thing. But I really mostly bought it for Accounting Plus. So I think for me, between Accounting Plus and like Rick and Morty, I would probably kind of get my money's worth, but mostly if I had gotten that $60 back. But now having this come with Astrobot, which I'm absolutely in love with, and getting Resident Evil Biohazard, which I don't own and haven't played, and getting to play it in VR or not VR, which I will probably just play it in not VR, to be perfectly honest. I'll probably just enjoy it more that way. I don't know. I got 2 decent games and most of the VR set, and then I was lucky enough to have found my my Move controllers refurbished for a really decent price.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I will say I was a little disappointed because they made this bundle look like it was everything. I didn't realize when I bought it that it didn't come with the Move controllers.
It came with the camera, though, right?
It came with the camera, the visor, and 5 games, but it did not come with the Move controllers.
That seems kind of shady.
Right. So I will say, like, I'm not over the moon for my purchase. I'm over the moon for this game experience.
Fair enough.
But
yeah, that's fair.
Enough here to keep me going with it. Like, now that I have it, and I did get it, I did get it at a good discount. It was a Black Friday deal. I got it at a decent discount. I like 2 of the games I got. I'll be happy enough with what's going on. Oh, and I ended up getting Accounting Plus for $11 because that was on sale. So that's another one. Like I scored it for cheap, so I'll be able to be happy with it.
And
that's pretty worth the price for that too.
Yeah. I thought so. So Moss is a little expensive. That's actually my buddy who has the VR, who was helping to sell me on it, says he really wants to try Moss, but it usually sits around like $40, and it was on sale for $25, which is still, since most VR games run kind of short. A lot of games are like 6, maybe 8-hour experiences at most.
I've so like Accounting Plus, I watched the whole thing about it. It was an hour and a half.
Yeah. So they're not super long games by any means. So it's a pricey fucking habit right now. But I don't know. Like, Astrobot was a really good, really unique experience that, like, I mean, dude, seriously, it brought me to that childhood place that a place like Disneyland can bring you. Playing that game, I had this childlike experience of, like, wonder.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's really going to pull through. It's this really unique interactive experience, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? And like,
I would go to a theme park that was all VR, like really blank gray walls and mazes that you walk through, and then you slap some goggles on you, and it's something like this. I'm sold. I'll spend money to go to a place and wander around like that all day, because this was just, it was fucking breathtaking.
What would be really cool is if they had different textures on the walls.
Oh, absolutely, like leaves that you could walk into, and fuck it, even give me a little guy that I'm driving around and is interacting with shit that isn't there, but also let stuff bump into me, like a VR game does. You know, like, not everything flies at your face, but the stuff that does, let that hit me in the face. That'd be great. Either way. So yeah, that's my VR experience. That's my whole spiel on that. But a lot of fun. Again, I'm not saying rush out and get one. I don't think it's at a place where like everyone should have one of these. But if you can find it at a good deal, or you got a buddy who's trying to get rid of it, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Is it it just works for PlayStation, right?
The one that I got is PlayStation only. I do have a buddy at work who just got the Oculus Quest. So that's the wireless Oculus. And he's a big fan. I didn't get too many details. So, like, I'm kind of interested in storage capacity and stuff like that. Like, I'm sure you more have a repository on your computer and you swap out games one at a time, maybe 2, depending on the size. But I don't know that for sure. That's just me kind of figuring.
Okay,
One
unless
of the
they're-
Oculus Go had like the weird one remote thing. It wasn't an actual VR. Oculus Quest, I don't remember what exactly. I think it was wireless.
It has it's wireless from the computer, so you can take it on the train, but it has 2 controllers,
Right.
so you can virtual jerk off skiers.
yeah, that totally looked like
Yeah.
you got dicks in your eyes, man.
Dicks in your eyes. But yeah, so he really likes it, and yeah, and the Oculus Quest I think actually has more games than the PlayStation one does. But I think the PlayStation one was cheaper, if I remember correctly.
Probably. I wonder how
Yeah.
much the other Oculuses are going for.
So the Oculus, even so there's the S and then there's the
Quest.
Quest. The S is going for $349.
That's a lot more than I paid.
Well, technically it's $399. They're having a Black Friday sale, $50.
So that's a lot more than I
and
paid.
the Oculus Quest, you get to choose for a 64 gig one, which is like one game.
Yeah,
It's
these days.
$399. For an 128 gigabyte one, it's $499.
I just go with the S, honestly. Like, I would just get the more powerful graphics card, slap it on my computer, and run that one.
Yeah, and I mean, and honestly, like that's you probably have more games available to you on the Oculus. I'll give you that right now. You probably have a lot more games. Though,
Well-
what one of my buddies was complaining about is a lot of times you're getting those like VR phone games ported over to both of these consoles.
Yeah.
Like, they're garbage. So be careful of what you're buying. Some of them are garbage mobile games that are like free or $1 or so on your phone, and they want to charge you more to put it on your PlayStation. So something to be cautious of. But yeah, really happy with it. And then like my last Black Friday purchase anybody will give a shit about. I haven't played it yet, but I'm really excited. I got Ni no Kuni for the Switch. They were doing a sale like if you couldn't find this on Black Friday, you weren't trying to look, so I'm not even going to be mad about I try not to talk price on stuff I pay too much, but $25 for Ni no Kuni. A bunch of places were doing it on sale. That's like a $50 game. It was like half price right now, so I jumped on that because I knew I was going to buy it anyways.
What,
So might as well
what is
get
that?
it once
That
on
sounds
sale.
familiar.
Ni no Kuni, Curse of the White Witch. I
Oh,
didn't know this.
okay.
Eduardo
Okay.
had to correct me on this because I didn't know this, but apparently it's part of a series. What was the series, Eduardo?
I forget, but I think Ni no Kuni is the series.
The house moving castle.
No, but yeah. So apparently it's part of a whole series. But people swore
Yeah,
this is
Ni no Kuni is the name of the video game series, and they always have a tagline. You
Okay.
were talking about Curse of the White Witch.
yeah, Curse of the White Bitch. So Curse of the White Witch came out for the 360 originally and like did really well. People loved it, and I just never got the chance to play it. So it was finally coming out for the Switch, and I was like, okay, that's when I'll play it. Once I heard it was announced, I was like, I'll finally just pick it up and I'll play through it. And then I finally saw it on sale, so I was like, done. Like, I'll just get it now before I'm ready to play it. So I'm gonna finish up Pokemon, and then I'm gonna play some Ni no Kuni. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Okay. And then you've also been watching some shit, right?
Well, I have a Black Friday thing that I
Yeah,
picked up.
he's got.
Oh,
Let him do
fuck
Black
yeah.
Friday.
What did you
Yeah, I
pick
picked up a smart scale for $50.
What does that mean?
It means that it connects to my like Wi-Fi stuff, like a Google Home, and like keeps track of everything and makes phone calls apparently because I had to enable voice settings on my phone for it. I don't know why.
Wait, your scale, like as in,
Yeah, like I weigh myself with it.
and it.
I just like to imagine that your scale caused you to be like, put down that soda, and you're like, damn it, scale.
I wish that would be great. I would love that as a service. It was only $50. It's normally $100.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, I picked up. I was like, this seems cool. I just wanted to scale, and apparently I got a robot that just sits there and gives me inspirational stories about weight loss and tracks my weight and other stuff like my like how hydrated I am because you're supposed to step on it with your bare feet, and somehow it just tells all these things.
Klaus, how hydrated are you normally?
And where did you get bare feet?
I'm a bear. If you ask my partner Tony, she's always like, "Oh, you're a bear."
Yeah, but
okay.
the feet.
So they're my feet. If I'm a bear, I have bare feet. We're a 15 quadruple E.
I don't know if that checks out. Judges? There's nobody
That-
there.
Show me
Yeah,
potato
yeah.
salad. There's nothing there.
All right.
Hey, I thought it was a
other
good
than-
purchase.
Okay. No. It's fine. It's just I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I would do with a smart scale.
I don't know either. It's
Like,
cool
I
though.
know
I
I'm
can
fat.
track.
I don't need another thing to also tell
Basically,
me.
what Klaus
Actually-
is saying is like, I had $50.
Honestly, though, I've actually lost a lot of weight. I went from 410 pounds to 343.
Damn.
Nice.
That's because I gained 2 pounds. Because I was at 341 and now I'm at 343. So I've been eating a lot of junk over the last holiday.
So
Piece
what
of shit.
what did you do to lose all that other weight?
Well, I quit nicotine. I stopped having energy drinks. I've quit coffee as much as I can. I have some caffeine, but it's like in sodas and shit. I cut back on sodas. I have changed my diet to mostly a vegetable diet and like rice diet. And then I still eat meat, but like it's more vegetable based than anything.
Okay. Well, it's not
So
bad.
basically moderation and everything. Except for like the last 2 days at work, they've had like hot pockets just sitting in the freezer. So I've just been eating hot pockets.
I mean, if you're gonna put them here,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, well, fuck it. I've lost all this weight. I gotta have some hot pockets. I gained 2 pounds. I'm like, fuck, I gotta stop eating hot pockets.
Hot Pockets. Are we gonna get sued for that?
no,
Maybe.
it's homage.
One can only
motherfucker.
hope.
One can only hope that. Why?
Yes, because if we get sued, we get free publicity with it.
it'll put us on the map.
Yeah, we're so small that any publicity is good publicity at this point.
That's fair. It's fair.
I guess so. Okay, so before I bought a Nest for Black Friday. It's not that impressive. I've been wanting one for a while. I didn't get anything.
That's the
fancy.
camera, right?
No, Nest the
The
thermostat.
Nintendo. Oh,
Oh, okay. Because there's also Nest cameras. There's like the
They
whole
do
Nest
cameras
series
and
with Google.
stuff. Yeah. No, this was.
Because I finally have a Google Home Mini. It was free with my subscription with Spotify.
Yeah, I got one of those somewhere here with the same thing with Spotify. They were like, "You want one?" I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I was like, yeah, sure, fuck it. And
Yeah, I haven't set it up yet. But yeah, before we move on from Black Friday shopping, or to move on actually, Baza, you want to tell us about that thing? I'm curious to hear the thing that you watched.
oh yeah. So DC just launched their new Harley Quinn show on the DC Universe streaming app.
Which
on
is
the
going
app
away,
that's dying, yeah, the dying DC app.
Well, you know what's weird though is people keep talking about how it's dying, but I also just read that they renewed Teen Titans for a third season, so it's at least not going away until late next year.
So the app's not dying. I believe they're transferring. Well, the app is dying. I think the content isn't dying. They're transferring it over to HBO Go or HBO Max. I forget what the name of that is now.
All right,
At least that's what I'd heard. But
Well,
Don't
I
quote
paid
me
for
on
this
it.
for a full year, so I'm getting my year out of it, or I'm going to be pissed off. Either way, so they started a new Harley Quinn animated series, adult animated series, but not adult like porn. Just like they curse and there's blood and things that are happening are
Oh, okay.
generally not okay. Harley Quinn being voiced by Kaylee Kuko from of Big Bang fame.
okay.
Penny, the main girl on that. And then, what is her name? Shit. It's one of those. God, I even watch her other show that she's in. I have to look
Ellen
it up.
DeGeneres.
No, what?
Yeah.
No. She's on.
She just plays a fish inside DC Universe. Just
No, she's playing Poison Ivy. Lake Bell. She's on another show called Bless This Mess with Dak Shepard.
Oh,
That's
okay.
actually pretty good. Either way, so Alan Tudyk is the Joker. Diedrich Bader is back as Batman. Jim Rash, the Dean from Community, is the Riddler. The whole cast is great, and basically the whole thing focuses, and this is more or less captured in the comic run. I think it's mostly Birds of Prey based, except Catwoman's not in it. But Birds of Prey was basically Poison Ivy and Catwoman taking Harley Quinn and convincing her that she didn't need the Joker and she could stand as her own as a villain. The Joker was actually just a crazy sadist and a piece of shit, and she didn't really need to be near him or around him to do what she wanted to do. She could be her own villain. So a lot of it was like, character building for her. And that's what a lot of this is based on. Harley Quinn decides that the Joker is a piece of shit and she's going to go make it on her own as a villain.
Okay.
So that's where the costume change comes into play. Yes, she is based on the new 52 version of Harley Quinn, but she does start off in the original Harley Quinn outfit. And at one point, she's like breaking away from the Joker, and Poison Ivy looks at her and she goes, "Why are you still wearing that?" And Harley Quinn's like, "Oh, I'd never even considered that." And then goes and changes it. So, yes, it's the costume that I'm not a bigger fan of, but they at least acknowledge the original and go, hey, we're purposely not doing it. It's a big arc for the character because she's changing who she was. All right, we've justified it. It fits. It makes sense. It's not my favorite look, but it's a cartoon. I'm sure she'll go through a couple of different looks as they update it and change it. I actually really like Kaylee Kuko for the voice. She's not doing the Boston accent, which is a little disappointing, but apparently we're just not going to do that with Harley Quinn's anymore. So I'm giving up on that. It's fine. It'll be fine. She's doing a good job with the character. I like the character. I am loving Alan Tudyk as the Joker. I've actually been saying for a long time that I think Alan Tudyk should be a live action Joker. And fuck it, getting him as an animated Joker is just as good. He's killing it. Diedrich Bader has already proved that he's an excellent Batman with Batman the Brave and the Bold, so he's back in this. I don't know the guy who's playing Jim Gordon, and I have no idea why they took Jim Gordon down this route, but in this, Commissioner Gordon is like a sleep-deprived caffeine addict who's just hyper-stressed all the time. So he's always on the roof, and he's really pissed off at everybody, and he just needs him to shut up and go away. Like, he's just a nutcase. And, like, I don't get it, but it's fun, and it's hysterical.
He's Lewis Black?
Kind of. It's a really weird take on Commissioner Gordon. But I like it, so fuck it. It's fun. I don't know, like the show just seems to like know what it is. It's not taking itself hyper serious and they're having fun with it. And while I do think the Harley Quinn character is really getting played out, this is probably one of the best versions you can take it in. The adult animated cartoon isn't anything that anybody's like trying to respect. You know what I mean? It's meant for some good laughs, and fuck it. Harley Quinn is at the very least still good for some good laughs.
Let me be real though. We need a Zatanna fucking show.
I would watch the living dick out of a Zatanna show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, on other news, did you hear that Zoids is coming back?
Shut the fuck up. Tell me everything. There's no more show. The rest of this is Zoids.
I just remember seeing that Zoids was coming back in a post.
Eduardo, I need you Googling this. Klops, I need you telling me everything you know.
I believe it's a Netflix thing, too.
We're off to a great start. Keep going. Animated or live action?
It's animated. All animated. I don't remember much of it.
From the tournament series and not the shitty war series. All about the tournament.
I think it's called Zoid Wild. Let's see.
That helps I don't remember.
I don't remember. Wild Zero?
No, it was a Netflix thing.
That was its own thing.
I don't know. Okay. I just remember seeing an article about it. It was very small. It just was basically saying that Zoids was coming back. And I figured I'd let you know because I just remembered.
All right. Well, now I'm excited for no reason.
Yeah, probably, because I'm not seeing anything. No, I think there's a change.org petition to bring Zoids to Netflix. Is that the article you saw?
Maybe.
Now I'm sad.
All right.
The title of the article was like New Zoids. I was like,
yeah, but those are the toys. I'm also seeing that Zoids is making a comeback. Is launching some new Zoids models as well as his new
maybe it was just toys. Sorry, false alarm, everybody.
It was toys, but apparently the article is sponsored because it also mentions the Witcher series on Netflix. So I'm guessing you just saw the tag, not the headline, but the little like descriptor, and then caught all that from it.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, be sad now. Be very sad.
Sorry, I thought I had New Hope for you, Bonsai. Apparently not.
No, he just had The Last Jedi for you.
This podcast is just Bonsai sighing.
Oh, man. He was ready to abandon us and fucking everything.
I just thought it was great because I was like, man, we were just talking about Zoids. It's coming back. What a time to be alive.
I'm sad now.
He is at that.
Klops, you've been watching a show. Tell me about it before I stop caring about life.
I like that he's given up on his whole part of the segment. Like,
yeah.
Fuck this new show.
Harley Quinn show. It was good. What else do you want from me? There's only one episode out.
I'll give it a rating.
I give it 1 episode out of 1 episode.
See, you look what you did, Klops. You upset the boy. Fine. Klops, what have you been watching?
I've been watching a show that's been around forever that I'm really late to the party for.
But I still want to hear you talk about it because I hate it.
It's called One Piece. And honestly, I'm only 30 episodes in. There is 912.
And counting.
Yeah, and counting. So there's a lot for me to catch up on. This podcast, or this one today, I'll catch up on what I've watched in the last 30 episodes. I don't think it's been much because it kind of has DBZ syndrome, where it like has like an episode of like just stuff kind of happens, but it's not really anything of importance, and then they move to the next episode, and then the next episode has stuff that happens and it's kind of important, and then vice versa. So we follow a pirate that's made out of rubber. He gets there because he ate some kind of devil's fruit, and now he can't swim either, so it gives him some kind of weird power. I don't know why that's a thing, but that's a thing in this universe. But this show is pretty much the creators got high and decided to just do whatever the fuck they wanted, and the network let them. And I can applaud them for that.
Okay.
So he's on the quest to become king of the Hokages, pretty much. Believe it.
Believe it.
So he's off to be the grand pirate of this day and age where there was already a grand pirate that left one giant mass piece of treasure somewhere on the Grand Line, and countless people are looking for it, and he's going to be the king. It starts off with him not having anything and pretty much starting to gain crewmen. So far, he's gained 4 people. Actually, 3. He's gained Zoro, who is a swordsman, if you couldn't guess. He uses 3 swords, 1 in each hand and 1 in his mouth. I don't know how the fuck that works, but sure, we're going to roll with it. He's gained Naomi, the navigator, who's also a thief that only steals from pirates, so I don't know why she's part of the crew. And then there's... I can't remember his name. He's got this really long Pinocchio nose, and he's full of lies all the time. He just lies all the time. He's basically Pinocchio. He's fucking a lying Pinocchio, and he's good with a slingshot. He's like a bullseye person, right? You know what I mean? He's just like, shoot things. And they just gained him, and now we're all caught up with the 3 crewmen, and we're getting the 4th one, who's a cook. And the cook doesn't use his hands to fight, only uses his feet. Because if he fucks up his hands, how will he cook anymore? So it kind of makes sense that way. And they're on this ship that's basically the restaurant that floats around in the middle of the ocean, right? And it's getting attacked by this other pirate lord that basically had a fleet of 50 ships, went to the Grand Line and got destroyed. Came back here. He's going to steal this one boat that's a restaurant boat. I don't know why the fuck he wants it. Oh, wait, I do know why he wants it. Because he wants to basically sneak up on people that think it's a restaurant and then rob them blind. I guess that makes sense. I think there's better ways to do it as a pirate, but okay. But it turns out that this restaurant boat is also the ship of this ex-pirate captain who taught the cook that we're talking about that's going to be recruited, who is like also known for using his legs and not his hands for like beating shit up because he was also a cook. And his one thing was like, I almost starved to death one time, or a couple times. So I think it's appropriate to have a ship that just floats around the ocean, and if you're hungry, we'll feed you. Other than that, it just has like these really wacky, crazy battle scenes that like you kind of just like look up and watch and go, that was really fucking insane. Let's keep going. And you just keep trucking through this thing. So far, I'm really impressed with it. It started to grow on me more and more as I've watched it. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did because it kind of started off slow and like kind of like, what the fuck is this? But then I realized once it was all a fever dream, it's all good. I'm just going to watch this fever dream and keep going with it. They literally had a dude that had shields on him. He had this giant front shield, giant back shield, giant shields on his shoulder, giant shields on his hands, giant shield on his head, giant shields on his legs, and they all had pearls. And he's like, I'm indestructible. And they're like, fuck you. And then like they like hit him. He had a nosebleed. And he's like, blood. I hate blood. And then catches on fire because when he gets angry, he just catches on fire. And they're like, he's gonna burn the ship down. They're like, no shit, he's gonna burn the ship down. You have to stop him now. And they had to fight him and stop him. And I'm like, how does this make sense? I don't know what it is. We're just gonna roll with it.
When do you start talking about the good part?
I think the whole thing's good.
I'm
doing a really bad review because I want you to go fucking watch this fever dream. I can't tell what's happening in it half the time, but it's great to watch while I'm like playing video games.
It's like that other one. What was it? Puny behind me.
I like Puny Puny.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Just chaos.
That's what this is. This is just chaos.
Okay, so have you seen One Piece, Bonsai?
No.
I saw it years ago.
Okay, and why do you hate it?
It's just too... Puny Plummy is not really trying to be a shonen or anything. It's really just a show made to be funny chaos. One Piece is legitimately trying to be a shonen, but it's just too much for me. Like it crosses that uncanny valley of like, oh, just fun weird anime and goes straight into like just not good for me.
See, I disagree. The one story arc it has, at least currently, I'm sure it won't change because it's One Piece, is going to be, I'm going to be king of the pirates. And then Luffy proceeds to be an honest pirate. Like, he is honest and like almost noble and like valiant and like nothing of a pirate. Like, he's not shady at the minute. It's like, they're like, what happened here? He's like, oh, we're pirates. We just showed up and fought these other guys. And I'm like, you're pirates. And then they like run him off. And he's like, ha 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 ha, I'm a pirate. Like, there's no.
I'm still waiting for you.
It's just
to
him
the
being.
good part.
I'm gonna be king of the Hokages. Believe it. Like, that's all it is. Like, it's just him going and
No,
basically
but Naruto
before
actually
Naruto
got really good. I will say it is funny that you keep mentioning Naruto though, because when the guy who created My Hero Academia finally got like most of the first season out and the show is becoming a hit, the guys who created Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and One Piece all like each of them wrote him a letter basically welcoming him to like the top anime ever club.
Yeah, because that is what this is. Like,
No,
it doesn't change that
I'm aware.
formula.
And my hatred, well, no, dude, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of shonens out there. I get that this is a shonen. It's just a shonen where I don't like what's happening in the shonen. It's too ridiculous. But My Hero is not big because it's a shonen. There are tons of these. It's just that those literally are the highest 3 selling animes ever.
Yeah.
One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto.
I can say
top, and
that
My Hero Academia just kind of started puncturing its way into that bubble.
Right. So I also didn't like One Piece when it first came out, and when I was like kind of hearing of it, I thought it was going to be stupid and dumb. And then I watched Fire Force, and the person I was watching Fire Force with was like, "This is like One Piece, only really sped up, which makes it good." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, I like Fire Force a lot. Maybe it is. I'm going to go back and watch this and start it." And I think it kind of is. I can see where it has those similarities in a lot of things. Luffy and the main character from Fire Force do have a lot of similarities. I'm going to say. I think they do. So far, even in like 30 episodes, I can kind of see it. I think this is one that you should go back and give it another shot. And honestly, I'm going to give it to like episode 300 before I really am going to be like, I hate it or I love it. Because I kind of have to wait that long. This is going to be one of those things. But so far, 30 episodes in, I'm enjoying it. It's gotten better.
That's his he vehemently disagrees face.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna watch it.
That's fair. You watch a lot of shit that I wouldn't. You got a subscription service to something I wouldn't.
Cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I'm just saying that I think that you might. I was also a disbeliever. I also didn't think it was going to be that good.
I've had friends try and sell me on this show for years, and I just fucking can't. Like I'll start to consider it, and then I'll like stay at a hotel where I actually get commercials again, and I'm watching like Cartoon Network late at night, and they'll play like a trailer for an episode, and I'll go, nope.
No, you can't watch the trailer. I didn't watch any trailers.
That's why I'm not.
That
seeing
was my
this.
problem too. I even watched a friend watch like one of the episodes that count up like, I don't know, 700 or something
So
like that.
wait,
I was like,
you were
watch
on
the
his
episode.
couch staring at him while he was watching the episode? That seems kind of creepy, bro.
Yeah.
No, actually, I woke up from a nap and he was watching it on my TV.
Who naps at random people's houses?
It was at my house, motherfucker. He was over.
Was it that dude that used to die on your couch?
Yeah, it was. It was Robert.
That dude sounded like he was dying all
Yeah,
the
it's
time.
called sleep apnea. I have it too. It sucks. But like, and like I just caught like the last half of that episode. I didn't understand the fuck was going on because it's like episode 700 and it was like the last of the story arc for that story arc part, right? You know, and like I didn't really have an interest in it. I'm telling you, starting it from episode 1, it didn't really get until like episode 12, and then after that I was like kind of sold onto it. And I'm on episode like 31 now, and I'm still kind of like into it. So like I couldn't watch any trailers. I didn't have any interest until this point. I'm just telling you. I think if you just go into it and you just like chalk through it a little bit, you might actually enjoy it. You may not. You might hate it. You might go, Klops, you're a liar. And I'm like, that's fair. But I was not a believer either.
I will add this to the list of anime to check out. To be fair, I've never even fucking heard of it. But I
Of
have
One Piece?
I never heard the name, but I've seen the characters all over the place. Like when you go to like
Conventions and
Chinatown or conventions,
Yeah.
and like they've got all those cutesy figurines. So I've seen the figurines. I just never knew where it was from, and well, now I do. So there's that. All right.
Let's end this show on this down note.
Yeah, I was about to say. So check us out on Tuesdays on Twitch.
What, you mean the Zoids isn't being more like worked out?
Yeah,
is that
dude,
the donut
he
you're
is
talking
so
about?
lame about that. Like, I'm sad now. Twitch.tv/Metagame Network.
Cry myself
Tuesdays,
to sleep.
7 to 9. Bias Bros comes out every other week on Thursday.
It'll be this week, not last week or the following week. It's this one, I believe.
Yeah, because I don't know how this works anymore. All right. Anyways, final words, Klops.
Check out One Piece. It's actually pretty good. Also, YouTube's.
And Bonsai.
I mean, I'm just saying he's like a low rent anime Mr. Fantastic. What the fuck do I need that shit for?
Like stretchy pants?
He's stretchy. That's his power.
He does more than just
rubber.
stretch. He does more than just
Oh,
stretch.
so does Mr. Fantastic. He can fold himself into like a parachute. He can slide under doors.
He's also a fantastic lover, or so I've heard. Bye. Yeah.
See ya.